I am living that barn door life, wrenching on my Suburban and adventuring for the very last time before one of you wins this thing. Yes, it's true. I am giving away my beloved Suburban. I just have too many cars. I've said it a million times, I gotta have tough love, and I figure somebody else needs to enjoy this thing as I have. And so I want to give you an opportunity to experience this 1990 Chevy Suburban 1500 4x4 because it's actually really good. And in this episode, you are going to completely get it. You are going to understand why this is like the greatest vehicle ever made. First thing I'm going to do is park it in the driveway and just wrench on it and make it better than it ever has been in my ownership so that one of you can enjoy it more. And then I'm going to go on this desert adventure and it's going to be a lot of fun. So how can you win this thing? Well, before December 7th, 2025, you need to go to my website, shop.davidfreiburger.com. The link is in the description, and read the rules for the sweepstakes and find out if you are eligible and how to get entries. Basically, you can buy any of my merchandise and get entries, or you can mail in a card. You actually don't have to buy anything to win, but it would be cool if you did. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is take this thing out to my local car wash and clean it up, and then head right to my driveway for some wrenching. It's all washed up now, which I basically did for morale because I don't love working on filthy cars. I'm not going to vacuum it all out and everything till the very end. I'll get this thing all spiffed up for you, but the first thing that I need to do is deal with the fact that this thing has been droopy in the drawers for as long as I've had it. It is saggy in the back. And I've looked at aftermarket leaf springs and stuff, but I don't really want it to change the ride height, so I'm going to go to the air shocks. Let me jack it up and pull the stock stuff out of there first. Do I even need to jack it up? I don't even need to jack it up. I'm just gonna lie under there and do it. Let me get some rust sauce. The old shocks are out. They are old enough that they're actually made in the United States. They say Matic on them, so I presume they're a Monroe Matic? Oh no, Magnum. Anyway, they're junk. So I'm going to install air shocks. These are, in fact, the Gabriel Hijackers. I was super happy to see that they still use the little logo of the rabbit that we all had on our cars way back in the day. Unfortunately, they didn't supply a sticker, but they'll be good. Let me slam these in. I've got the top mounts on the shock absorbers, but I can't pull the shocks down to get them in the lower mount. They just suck right back in. So I'm gonna put the airline kit on and then put a little bit of air in them to extend them and then put on the lower mount. Of course, the new airline kits are 100% plastic. Black zip ties, always black, never white. Airlines are run. I'm going to stab some air in this and see if I can extend those shocks enough to get the bottom eyelet hooked up. Okay. No. It looks like the fitting needs to stick out more so that the doohickey can go on it. Okay. Leaky fittings. Let me fix that. Good news, I got enough air in there that I got the lower shock mounts installed. The bolts are through, they're all tight and everything. Bad news, my handy dandy cordless air compressor chuck won't activate the Schrader valve in this thing reliably enough to actually fill it up. So I'm gonna have to figure something else out for a compressor. I don't have a stand-up compressor. As you can see, I don't even have a shop, but I do have a little battery-powered one. Let's see if that works. Car battery-powered one. Not going up. How worthless are air shocks that you can't get air into? Okay, this is dumb. I can't get air in the air shocks. The only thing I can think of is somehow the way these two ends are butted in here, it's clogged off the hole. So let me play with that for a while. Ugh, so annoying. I just spent half an hour fiddling around trying to figure out why you couldn't get air in the shocks of this thing. Here's the deal. There are little tiny O-rings that go on the hose inside the fittings, and it comes in the kit with 2 O-rings at each end. But it turns out it only needs 1. Apparently, those are extras, because I took them all off, and now the thing will flow air. What a nuisance. So, let me plug this in, and you will see air shocks working. Slowly, but working. Cool. £75. Okay, let me put this all back together, and finally, the air shock job is done. This rearview mirror has been broken for about 2 years. The deal here is that I'm fixing stuff for whoever wins this thing that I would have never fixed for myself. But at least I'm getting around to it. I am going to wear eye protection, chip this off of here with a vacuum cleaner, and then I have a new one to stick on. And you know what? People always ask me if these are the original mirrors on this Suburban. They are. This is a 1990 and it came with the plastic remote adjustable mirrors. They're legit. All right, let me go get my vacuum. First, I fought the air shocks to make them work, and now the aftermarket mirror is wrong. I took it out and held it up. I'm like, oh, that's the right one, and it fits nicely up top, but it's too long and the shape of the bottom corners is kind of wrong. I went and looked up the application. It said it's correct. Super irritating, and I apologize to you, whoever wins this thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and double stack some stickies right here to angle it out a little bit and just make it work. Because what else do you do? What a bummer. Now let's find out if the aftermarket's forgotten how to make headlights too. They keep progressively blinking out on this thing, and the lights are 4 different brands, so I'm gonna install all new ones with Torx. Okay, haters, which car had the very first electric headlamps? Well, it was an EV. The Columbia electric car, 1898, had production electric lamps on the front of it. Of course, before that, cars used acetylene. They actually burned acetylene for light. Really, the first practical electric headlights, well, I think they had them on Peerless, Paceros, and Packards, I think, in the 1900-somethings. But the first practical electrical system on a car that would support headlights and also a starter and things like that was the 1912 Cadillac, 1912 or 13 Cadillac. And that system was developed by Delco, Charles Kettering. So that's sort of how electric headlights became a thing. Oh, and what is a halogen bulb? What does that mean? It is a gas that is sealed inside the bulb, and it reacts with the tungsten filament and helps sort of reattach tungsten particles to it so that it doesn't fog up the lens. And it also allows the tungsten to burn hotter and therefore brighter. So now you know. And hopefully now my light is brighter. Let me tighten these up. We'll flip them on, see if they work. Because there was one connector that was a little sketchy. A little on fire once in a while. Not a lot, a little bit. Okay, let's see if we got them all. Lights are on, both inners. Don't have this one. What's going on? This is the one that was melty. There it is. Aha. Okay, I can fix this, and will. Okay, taking that apart to fix it. As long as I have the hood open here, I guess I should tell you about the engine in this thing. You know, the Suburban has 207,000 miles on it, and I have no reason to believe that the engine has ever been out of it. Maybe, who knows? I've only owned it, let's see, for 5 or 6 years, just pre-COVID, and I've put a little bit more than 10,000 miles on it. And so I can tell you it's been completely reliable. It's been quiet. It has been gutless. It has no power, just like it did when it was new. The worst thing about it is that occasionally it will smoke on cold startup. I assume that it needs valve stem seals, but that's a you job. And so I'm going to continue to live with it. I've been on the road with it. What does it get? 10 or 11 miles to the gallon with the 700 R4 transmission, which, by the way, I did just have rebuilt within the past 2,000 miles. And it has a rebuilt or new converter too. That was 3,000 bucks. And I'll probably pressure wash this before it goes away, but that's about it. Change the oil. I've been good about that. And it'll probably just keep going. I would kind of hate to see somebody win this and decide that they needed to hop it up or put a blown small block in it or something like that, because it's just a good old man truck. 5.7 TBI, not hypo. Next, I thought it would be cheesy if I didn't replace front shocks for you, and I didn't even cheap out. I went with the Bilsteins. I've actually never been disappointed in an application for which I was able to buy one of these shocks. So let's go. Shocks are changed super easy. This one was completely wasted, the one that was on the passenger side, which is interesting because I noticed that that side tire is just barely starting to cup. You can see every other tread block is sort of worn down more than the ones next to it. And it's not that way as much on the driver's side. And that shock was good. So that explains that. The lousy shock can't control the tramping of the tire, and so it ends up doing that. All right, now the job that I've been procrastinating on, but I'm going to do finally, is change the starter. My problem since the day I bought this thing is that every 10th time you hit the key, the starter just freewheels and doesn't engage with the flywheel. And it also cranks a little slow, and I've just been waiting for it to actually frag and strand me somewhere. I've carried a starter in the back of this thing for years, assuming I'd change it at the side of the road. And then I used that starter on that 69 C10 that I got rid of a few videos back, and so I had to go buy another one from O'Reilly. So I'm going to install that now, as soon as I chuck this shock. Ready for the sound of it in the bottom of the trash? Garbage.
Ta-da! Look at that heat shield.
The starter is in and looking good. I haven't tried it out yet. I thought since I was underneath the truck that I would give you the opportunity to see some of the stuff that's under here. First of all, the big deal is it is so dry and rust free. Look at the floorboards, the frame rail. There's not even scale on it. Of course, there's old truck stuff, but man, is it clean as far as that goes. The axles are both GM corporate 10 bolts, and the option code on the glove box says that they've got 373 gears. Now, I keep saying that the transmission has been rebuilt, And I did pay $3,000. And I do have a receipt for it. And the problem I brought it in for, which was radical slipping, has stopped. However, when I look at it, I'm like, has this really been out of the truck? Because it's still fairly grimy and stuff and doesn't look like it's been touched. But then again, I have driven it quite a bit since the rebuild, so maybe that's the reason for that. But I thought I'd give you the heads up. The transfer case is an NP241, and it's got the extra capacity gas tank in the back. I think it's 31 gallons. It does have a little dent in it. Other than that, it is clean. And I think that's about all to tell you. Oh, it does have a stock catalytic converter. It does have a cherry bomb muffler on it, even though it's not loud at all. It did recently pass California smog inspection. So that's kind of a big deal if you're out here in California. Okay, let's go try that starter. And now, this week's edition of Will It Crank? Please. That is the fastest and best that this thing has ever cranked as long as I have known it. Usually it goes really slow, and like I said, it just skips the flywheel half the time. That one was a big win. Right on. Yes. I just made the Suburban better than I've ever had it, and so I'm heading out. This is going to be my last adventure in the sub. And now I'm out on the open road, heading to my happy place, the desert, in my feel-good vehicle, the Suburban. What more could you really ask for? Just going out for a simple cruise, see some sights, show you some historic stuff, camp in the back. It's going to be a good little trip for my final adventure with the Suburban. Right now I'm still sort of in the traffic-y area of 14 North, trying to get out of town here. I'm right by Vasquez Rocks, if you know what that is. Just about to pass that. And I gotta tell you, the air conditioning is awesome. I just spent a bunch of money getting this fixed. It's $1,200 worth of all new parts from my guy at Burbank Radiator, if you're in Burbank, California, or if you're in the whole San Fernando area and you need air conditioning or actual brass radiator work, you want to hit the place up. It's been there since the 50s. And we need to keep it in business. But anyway, I think you know that if you've had one of these old GM cars with functional air conditioning, that it will make it like a meat locker in here. I mean, you turn it on, you reverse global warming. It's that good. I can actually see the glaciers coming back. Arguably better than anything you'll find today. I mean, it's cold. I have got it on norm and second click on the fan, and it is way comfortable in here. And it's about like 90 outside. Oh, the cruise control works too. Let me see. Cruise. Yes, cruise control works. Can you believe that? How old is this garbage? 35 years old. And the cruise control works and the air conditioning. And driving inside, you can probably hear the tires howling. That's going to be the biggest noise. The mud tires are pretty loud. There's a little bit of a wind leak here. Or maybe it's just normal noise. I don't think it's the weather stripping. And the other thing that's great about this rig is it doesn't really have any squeaks or rattles. I mean, occasionally if you drive over train tracks, of course, you're gonna hear some stuff shaking, but driving down the highway right now, nothing. It's what makes it great. It's one of many things that makes it great. It's pretty late in the day now, and so I'm just driving out to the desert and we'll find some random place to camp. But first, I think I need to find myself one of my traditional good old diners. So let me do that, and I'll give you the review, and then we'll go camp. And this thing just rolled 207,000 miles. Why is it always so rewarding to watch the odometer click over? Cafe review, diner review. I ate at Crazy Autos, which is like a small chain in Lancaster, California. And wow, the food was enormous. I had the world's largest omelet. I had like 3 potatoes worth of home fries. I had biscuits and gravy. The gravy was a little pasty, I have to say, but I was there right at closing time, so I'll kind of give them a pass on that. I sat in a Rambler American to eat, and the decor is sort of airplane 50s license plate kind of Americana. Good place. Check it out if you're here. Now, I have to go camping out in the desert somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I'm definitely full of food. There'll be no risk of me going hungry. I think this is my spot. You can still hear the highway from here. You can see some lights of civilization way off in the distance, but I'm also way off the beaten path so that nobody's gonna bug me. I'm on an actual road. To me, that's one of the keys, is that you don't just trailblaze in the desert. It's just, this is, if you look at the satellite view, you can see it's a road, but it's been raining out here and the desert's remarkably green. So I'm gonna break open my barn doors and set up camp. Oh, this is gonna be good. Gonna be a nice evening. Morning. You'd think I look terrible and unrested, but it's actually my normal. So I had a fantastic night's sleep, and I'm actually sitting here coping with the fact that it is my last time camping in the Suburban. It's just so good. All right, up and at 'em. Man, the night of barn door life camping was great. And I know a lot of you understand that, and that's why I have the Barn Door Life t-shirt featuring this Suburban, which will help me remember it forever because of course I am giving it away. You need to enter on my site before December 7th, 2025. The link is in the description. You can buy the Barn Door Life shirt. You can buy any of my merchandise for entries to win, or you can just mail me a postcard. No purchases necessary, but do it before December 7th, 2025. And even if you don't win, you can celebrate that barn door life. I gotta pack up and go. Believe it or not, I am driving in the 3rd largest city in all of California, if you calculate that by land area. This is California City out in the Mojave Desert, and way back in World War II, it was a bomb practicing site, at least down much much further south than where I am right now. And as a matter of fact, they were finding UXBs, unexploded bombs, and all sorts of stuff out there into the early 2000s. But this area was actually a planned community. In 1958, some guys bought it. They thought that the post-war boom was going to populate this thing as big as Los Angeles or other cities. And they bought all this acreage, and they actually gridded out the entire plot of the city. Cul-de-sacs, the whole deal. There still is a California City actual downtown and a central park, but it's very small. The city still didn't have more than a few thousand people in it by the 80s, maybe even early 90s. Right now the population is less than 15,000. But what I was saying is, out here in the very remote desert part of it, there are grids cut into the landscape, and you can see them from the aerial shots. And it makes kind of a cool place to explore out here if you just like the sagebrush and occasional Joshua tree and stuff. So, California City, founded in 1958. 15,000 population, tiny city, massive land area, grids cut in the desert. That's the short version. Kind of smooth roads for blasting in your barn door Suburban too. Desert is good, Suburban is good, and so is moving on to our next site. I gotta hit the highway here for just a little bit. Now about 10 miles from pavement in the middle of the desert. You saw it was a great drive in here, and I've come across the first of like the remnants of human activity. This is a pumice mine. You know what they make out of pumice? Comet, as in comet wash, which needs to happen to that vehicle. So there's just stuff sitting out here. It's all shot up, but fortunately not too graffitied up. And there's a lot more to see. I want to go explore. Over there, I can see the remnants, like the foundation of some kind of building. So let's go check that out. I made it. This is a Bickl Camp since 1930. It is just one of those sort of stations out in the middle of the desert that serviced the miners way back in the day. Think of people here in the 30s, 40s, 50s, actually digging stuff out of the ground, making it happen. And they would come to a place like this for supplies, for meetups, for news. And these days, there's just a whole lot of stuff left behind. Let's go check it out. This Flathead 6 is a Kaiser Supersonic, which was also the Willys Hurricane, and it was used in Willys wagons and pickup trucks and Kaiser cars, including the Henry J, and I think their lifespan was very late 40s to mid 50s. I couldn't figure out what this engine was, but I spotted the Delco distributor on it, and then I noticed that it had a hydromatic transmission, so I knew that it was General Motors. So I sent a photo of it to Brian Loans, who came up with the fact that this is a Cadillac monoblock V8, circa 1936 to 1948. And the thing that's cool about them is these things were also used in World War II tanks. Check out how both the intake and the exhaust is in the center valley of the V. Pretty cool. There was no garbage pickup back in the day, so these piles of cans are sometimes all that's left of these little ghost towns. This looks like a 68 to 71 Scout 800. I'm sure the International Harvester guys will school me on what year it actually is. This is a Datsun 320, an early mini truck. This one's like 1961 to 1965. And to me, the very best thing about it is the 60 horsepower badge on the side. This here is a 1930 Packard. The giveaway is that sort of shelf up there on the, like where a visor would be above the windshield. You know, that was a really high-end car in 1930 when it came out. It makes you wonder, how do they end up being out here at a mining camp? And the answer is, I think luxury cars of the day depreciated just as fast as they do now. So by the time 1950 rolled around, that car was virtually free. And so a guy just got it, dragged it out here, and ultimately abandoned it in the desert. I actually have no idea what this is, but I do know Brian Loans, who once again schooled me on this thing. He informed me that this Fordson is of a series that was built from 1917 to 1928, and this is probably a later model one, 1925 to 28, and it's been converted to a crawler with the sort of tank tracks that appear to be from a kit from a company called Universal. I've been to Bickl Camp before, I've never come up here. If you are not familiar with exploring in the Southwest, then you should know that there are mines absolutely everywhere, to the point where you have to be careful where you're driving because you can fall in them. There's that many, and that's what this is right here. And the other thing that's very cool is that not only are the winches here, but there's also railroad tracks on the ground for the tiny gauge railroad cars, or little, ore carts that they used to get the ore out of the mine and down to camp. Pretty cool. Well, that's it for Bickl Camp. I think it's pretty awesome. And I also appreciate that in all the years I've been coming here, it's pretty much just the same, which is a warning to you. Should you come here, do not take anything completely uncool, because if you did, the rest of us wouldn't be able to see it. And it's stealing. All right, I'm out of here. We have more stuff to see. Ah, yeah, this cool place. I really wanted to come here again. This is the Dutch Cleanser Mine, and it's another pumice mine that's out here. And this one's even better because you can go way down deep in it. Some of my guys went all the way to the bottom. I don't recommend that. And by my guys, I mean the crew that was shooting Roadkill Garage. We came here once with Dulcich for that shootout of Lobach 4x4s. And then we came here another time with Finnegan where we did the shootout with the Rally Duster and the vet cart. Yeah, so, oh, jerky. You can't come to the desert without jerky, it's a rule. This is honey pepper jerky by itsjerky.com. It is so good. Probably super fattening and everything because it's all full of sugar, but I don't care. It's really, really tasty. And let me throw this in the Suburban. Let's go down in there. Whoa! Hole to the bottom of the earth. That goes way down in there. And check it out over here. Creepy caverns. Oh, this place is so good. Spooky. That mine is always extra cool. I'm glad I checked it out. I'm glad I showed it to you. I need to probably get out of the desert now, or at least off dirt. And there's a couple little towns I want to show you. Now I'm entering Ransburg, California, which is as close as you are going to get to a ghost town where people still live there. It's kind of a tourist destination, but it's really cool because it's so authentic. According to westernmininghistory.com, the place was founded in 1895 as a gold mine, and they also had tungsten nearby. And while it burned down a couple times, they rebuilt it, and so many of the buildings here are absolutely authentic to what Western mining was like way back in the day. And now I'm in the desert outside of Ransburg, California, that little semi-ghost town that I showed you. It's actually really cool. I could probably come back here in the daylight in another episode and show you some more neat stuff, but right now I'm just living that barn door life. This episode's been really good for me, sort of as a mental health situation, because I've been able to just hang out in the desert and do very light four-wheeling and see neat stuff and camp out of the back of my Suburban. And mechanically, man, the shocks not only helped this thing on the highway, but they made it way better off-road, way better. One of you people is gonna really enjoy that. And you know what? The starter did a lot for my mental health also. As long as I've owned this thing, it's cranked slow, and now it cranks really fast, fires right up. The Suburban is actually a choice unit. So how do you win this thing? You need to enter my sweepstakes by December 7th, 2025. Go to my website, shop.davidfreiburger.com. The link is in the description. Read the rules, see if you're eligible. You can buy my merch to get entries, or you can mail in a card. You don't even have to buy anything, although it'd be cool if you did. So go there to my site, read all of the rules, enter, and by mid-December, the Suburban will belong to one of you. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna have an incredibly peaceful night here. Really just enjoying my final days of the barn door life. And I will see you next time on the David Freiburger channel.